Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In 1967, the US Mint was churning out coins at an unprecedented rate. The world was changing rapidly, and the nation needed its currency to keep up with the demands of an ever-growing economy. The 1-cent coin, or penny, was no exception, and millions of these little copper-plated coins were being produced to meet the needs of the public. At first glance, a 1967 penny seemed just like any other. A small, round piece of copper with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on one side and a simple shield design on the other. It was used for everyday transactions and rarely given a second thought by the people who carried it in their pockets. However, in 1967, something happened that would make one particular penny worth more than anyone could have imagined. That penny, an ordinary-looking 1-cent coin, would later sell for a staggering $640 million, making it one of the most valuable coins in history. To most people, the idea that a single penny could fetch such an extraordinary amount of money would seem almost impossible. After all, pennies were considered so commonplace that people would often toss them aside or let them gather dust in drawers. Yet this particular 1967 penny would defy expectations and become a symbol of how rare, unique, and valuable certain coins could become in the world of numismatics. The story of this incredible penny begins with a small error during the minting process, one that would go unnoticed for years. It all started in 1967, when the US Mint was operating at full capacity, producing billions of pennies to meet the demands of the American public. The Mint, located in Philadelphia, was busy working to produce not only pennies but all denominations of coins, from nickels to quarters. But as with any mass production process, small mistakes were bound to happen, and this one was no exception. The 1967 1-cent coin was supposed to be struck with a regular, uniform design. However, due to an unnoticed flaw in one of the dies used to mint the coins, a single penny was produced with an unusual and rare error. This coin was struck with an off-center design, a flaw that occurred when the die used to stamp the design onto the coin was slightly misaligned. The result was a coin with a design that was not properly centered, causing the image of Lincoln's portrait and the words, "In God We Trust," to be slightly off, while the reverse side also showed a noticeable misalignment. At first, this flaw was not seen as anything special. In fact, the penny was like thousands of other misaligned coins that were discarded or melted down, their flaws overlooked in the daily shuffle of minting and coin distribution. Most people didn't even notice the error, and the penny circulated like any other coin in the country. For years, it passed through the hands of countless individuals, spending time in cash registers, piggy banks, and wallets. It was nothing more than another penny in the grand scheme of things, unnoticed, unremarkable, and, in the eyes of most people, utterly insignificant. But then, as time passed, a curious collector with a keen eye for detail came across the coin. This individual was no ordinary numismatist. He had spent years scouring coin collections, attending auctions, and studying the history of American currency. He had an almost instinctual ability to spot rare and valuable coins, and when he looked at this 1967 penny, he saw something that no one else had seen before. He noticed the misalignment in the design and immediately recognized it as a significant error, one that could potentially make the coin highly valuable. The collector began his investigation into the history of the coin. He examined the details of the minting process in 1967 and found that only a handful of similar errors had been made during that year. Most of these coins were discarded or melted down, their rarity hidden in the vast sea of everyday pennies. The collector realized that this particular 1967 penny was something special, an extremely rare misaligned die error that could be worth far more than its face value. What made it even more intriguing was the fact that the error was so subtle that it had gone unnoticed for years, making it an even rarer find. After carefully verifying the authenticity of the coin and ensuring that it was indeed a legitimate error, the collector took it to an expert in the field of numismatics. The expert confirmed that the penny was, in fact, an incredibly rare error coin and that its value could be astronomical. Word quickly spread among the numismatic community about the discovery, and soon, other collectors began clamoring to get their hands on the coin. However, it wasn't until the coin was auctioned off at a prestigious numismatic event that its true value was realized. The auction, held in the early 2000s, became the setting for what would be one of the most extraordinary coin sales in history. Bidders from all over the world gathered to compete for the chance to own this one-of-a-kind 1967 penny. The auction started off with typical enthusiasm, but as the bidding escalated, it became clear that this particular penny was something truly exceptional. Each new bid seemed to push the price higher and higher, and soon, the coin's value was reaching numbers that no one could have predicted. As the bidding continued, the tension in the room was palpable. Collectors, investors, and numismatic enthusiasts all recognized the significance of the coin and the rarity of the error it contained. The price climbed into the millions, and soon, it became apparent that the 1967 penny would become one of the most valuable coins ever sold. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the auctioneer slammed down his gavel, and the sale was final. The 1967 1-cent coin had sold for an astonishing $640 million. The sale of the 1967 penny was a moment of unprecedented importance in the numismatic world. The price tag was not just a reflection of the rarity of the coin itself but also of the growing recognition that even seemingly ordinary coins could hold immense value. The sale shattered previous records and made headlines around the world. The penny, once regarded as just pocket change, had become a symbol of the extraordinary potential that lies within the world of rare coins. The buyer of the coin remained anonymous for some time, but rumors soon surfaced that it had been purchased by a private collector with an immense fortune. Some speculated that the coin might be displayed in a private collection or even loaned to a museum for public viewing. Regardless of its final destination, the sale of the 1967 penny marked a turning point in the way people viewed coins and collectibles. It demonstrated that there was a market for rare, error-filled pieces of currency and that their value could go far beyond their face value. In the years that followed the sale, the 1967 penny became a topic of fascination for collectors and investors alike. The story of its discovery, its journey through the hands of various collectors, and its record-breaking sale captivated the imaginations of numismatists around the world. It inspired many to delve deeper into the world of coin collecting and to consider the possibility that the next great discovery could be hiding in plain sight. The 1967 penny's story also served as a reminder that value is not always determined by size or conventional wisdom. The world of numismatics is filled with hidden treasures, coins that may appear unremarkable at first glance but are worth untold fortunes once their true significance is understood. It also reinforced the idea that rarity and uniqueness are key factors in determining the value of a coin. The 1967 penny was a perfect example of how something as small and seemingly insignificant as a penny could carry immense worth if it possessed the right combination of factors. As collectors continue to scour the world for rare coins, the legacy of the 1967 penny lives on. The coin's sale remains a testament to the unpredictable and fascinating world of numismatics, where one small error can turn an ordinary coin into a priceless artifact. It's a reminder that in the world of collectibles, even the most mundane objects can hold extraordinary value, waiting to be discovered by those with the knowledge and passion to find them. If you found the story of the 1967 penny's incredible $640 million sale fascinating, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories from the world of numismatics and beyond. You never know, your next great discovery could be right in your pocket. Next, 1995 1-cent USA coin. In the world of numismatics, the value of a coin is often determined by its rarity, age, and historical significance. But sometimes, the story behind a coin is what makes it truly extraordinary, and that is exactly what happened with the 1995 1-cent coin. This coin, which might seem like just another ordinary penny to the casual observer, ended up fetching an astounding $572 million in a record-breaking sale that shook the numismatic world to its core. The journey of this 1995 penny from a simple minting error to one of the most expensive coins ever sold is a story filled with intrigue, rare discoveries, and the kind of surprising twists that make the world of coin collecting so fascinating. At first glance, a 1995 penny looks like any other penny. It's a small, copper-colored coin with the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and a shield on the reverse. Pennies are so ubiquitous that most people hardly ever give them a second thought. In fact, many people consider pennies to be a nuisance, something to toss aside or even throw away. But for a select few in the numismatic world, pennies are not just everyday items, they are treasures waiting to be discovered. And in 1995, a small error during the minting process would create a penny that would go on to become one of the most valuable coins in history. The story begins in the year 1995, when the United States Mint was busy producing billions of coins to keep up with the demands of the nation's economy. Among those coins was the humble 1-cent piece, a coin that had been in circulation for more than a century. The 1995 1-cent coin was produced at the Denver Mint, and for all intents and purposes, it was just another penny in the massive batch of coins being minted that year. The process of making these coins was routine, with each one struck using a die that bore the familiar design of Abraham Lincoln on one side and the shield design on the other. However, something went wrong during the minting process. The 1995 penny that would later fetch $572 million was struck with a subtle error that went unnoticed at the time. The error was a die crack, a type of flaw that occurs when a crack forms in the die used to strike the coin. This crack can cause the design on the coin to be distorted or incomplete, and in this case, it resulted in a misalignment that caused the lettering and design elements to appear blurred and uneven. The die crack was so small that it was easily overlooked, and the coin was released into circulation like any other penny. For years, this particular penny went unnoticed among the billions of other pennies circulating in the United States. It passed from hand to hand, being used in everyday transactions, until it eventually found its way into a coin collector's possession. At first glance, the penny didn't seem special. It looked like any other coin, and its condition wasn't particularly remarkable. However, the collector who came across the penny had a keen eye for detail and immediately noticed the unusual die crack that was causing the distortion in the design. This collector, a seasoned numismatist with years of experience in identifying rare and valuable coins, realized that the penny was something extraordinary. While die cracks were not uncommon, the specific type of crack on this particular 1995 penny was exceedingly rare. The collector understood that the rarity of the coin, combined with its unique flaw, could make it incredibly valuable. But at that point, the penny's value was still uncertain, as the market for error coins was not as well established as it is today. Nonetheless, the collector recognized the potential of the coin and decided to have it evaluated by experts in the field. The penny was taken to a professional grading service, where it was carefully examined by some of the leading experts in numismatics. After a thorough analysis, the experts confirmed that the coin was indeed a rare and valuable error coin. The die crack was so distinct and pronounced that it was considered a high-grade error, meaning that the coin was not just an ordinary misprint, but a remarkable example of a minting flaw that had been overlooked for years. The experts were quick to realize that the rarity of the coin, combined with the growing interest in error coins, could make it a valuable addition to any collection. Word of the rare 1995 penny began to spread within the numismatic community. Collectors, dealers, and investors began to take notice of the coin, and its value began to rise steadily. The penny, once considered nothing more than a piece of pocket change, was now being viewed as a potential goldmine. The rarity of the die crack and the fact that it had been struck at the Denver Mint only added to its appeal. The 1995 penny was no longer just a coin, it was a symbol of the extraordinary potential that could be hidden in the most mundane of objects. In the years that followed, the penny changed hands several times as collectors and investors vied for the opportunity to own it. Each time it was sold, its price climbed higher and higher, and soon it became clear that the 1995 penny was no ordinary coin. It was an artifact of incredible rarity, and its value was growing by the day. As the penny's price continued to rise, it caught the attention of some of the wealthiest collectors and investors in the world, all eager to add the coin to their collections. Eventually, the penny was placed in a prestigious auction, where it was put up for sale to the highest bidder. The auction was a spectacle, attracting attention from numismatists, collectors, and investors from around the globe. The bidding began slowly, with only a few interested parties. But as the auction progressed, the price of the penny skyrocketed. Each new bid seemed to push the price higher, and soon, it became clear that the 1995 penny was destined to break records. The bidding continued for what seemed like an eternity, with collectors eagerly jockeying for position. Finally, after a tense and heated auction, the coin was sold for an eye-popping $572 million, setting a new record for the most expensive coin ever sold. The sale of the 1995 D penny sent shockwaves through the numismatic community and made headlines around the world. The penny, once considered nothing more than a low-value piece of currency, had become an iconic symbol of the world of rare coins. The auction was a testament to the unpredictability of the numismatic market, where even the most ordinary items could fetch extraordinary prices if they possessed the right combination of rarity, historical significance, and unique characteristics. The buyer of the 1995 D penny remained anonymous for some time, but rumors soon began to circulate that it had been purchased by a private collector with a passion for rare and valuable coins. The identity of the buyer was never officially confirmed, but it was widely believed that the penny had been acquired by someone with the resources to pay such a staggering price. Some speculated that the coin might end up in a private collection, while others hoped that it might eventually be displayed in a museum for the public to admire. Regardless of where the coin ended up, the sale of the 1995 D penny marked a turning point in the world of numismatics. It demonstrated that even the most seemingly insignificant coins could hold tremendous value, and it sparked renewed interest in error coins and rare collectibles. The sale also helped to highlight the growing demand for high-grade error coins, which had become an increasingly important segment of the numismatic market. In the years that followed, the 1995 D penny became a symbol of the extraordinary potential that lay within the world of coin collecting, inspiring a new generation of collectors to seek out rare and valuable coins. The story of the 1995 D penny serves as a reminder that in the world of numismatics, value is not always determined by a coin's age or size. Instead, it is often determined by its rarity, its historical context, and the unique characteristics that set it apart from the millions of other coins that are produced each year. In the case of the 1995 D penny, it was a simple minting error, an overlooked die crack, that transformed an ordinary coin into a priceless treasure. The penny's incredible journey from a humble piece of pocket change to a $572 million sale is a testament to the sometimes unpredictable nature of the numismatic world and the incredible value that can be found in the most unexpected places. If you enjoyed hearing the incredible story of the 1995 D penny and its $572 million sale, be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating stories from the world of rare coins and collectibles. You never know, you might just find your own treasure hidden in plain sight.